Alrighty, folks. So I've gotten used to seeing, men in place of women in particular advertising, but I will admit that I did not expect to see a very, very hairy man on the cover of Brides Today India edition. Alrighty, so apparently there is a magazine called Brides Today, and Brides Today in India has a special feature. Oh no. Oh no. The special feature is of a dude, a gender non-conforming. I know this is a dude because this person has more hair than the carpet in this entire office. I mean, this person is just covered in human hair. My goodness, the levels of testosterone running through this person's body, it could populate entire worlds, apparently. And truly amazing stuff. In conversation with Brides Today, and this is a dude who's dressed up in Indian bridal garb, as in the country of India. In conversation with Brides Today, gender non-conforming and trans feminine author, performance artist, poet, and comedian Alok Vaid Menon, who performs under the moniker Alok, makes a compelling case for love is love. Here's the interview. Brides Today says, "You look absolutely fabulous in these photographs. Tell us how you style Indian wear." Okay, so first of all, lie. You do not look absolutely fabulous. You look like a horror show. I'm sorry, you're the one who put yourself on cover of a magazine. Once you put yourself on the cover of a magazine, declare yourself beautiful, then we all get to comment on it. And nope. It's going to be a big nope right here. My goodness. Alex says, in the U.S. Indian diaspora, we're only expected to wear Indian ensembles for community events like weddings and holidays. However, I like donning Indian outfits across occasions. Indian wear is elegant, vibrant, and timeless. Why would we deny the world its beauty? Sometimes I combine Indian wear with Western-style clothing. That's the fun in fashion. It's playfulness. It's hybridity. Well, I mean, that isn't there's traditional male Indian clothing as well. Brides Today says, how would you define your personal style? And he says, style is mobile poetry. There are no guidelines. I dress to be joyful, to enhance my capacity for awe or amazement in this world. I dress for me. Okay, first of all, that is the biggest crock of crap. Okay, people generally dress for each other. You know how you know this? Because when you're at home and it's time for bed, you don't put on a tux. You put on some PJs. You look like a schlub because you're dressing for you now, to be comfortable. But apparently, we're all supposed to believe that when you don bridal garb, Indian bridal, first of all, I wonder how Indian women feel about this sort of thing. Apparently, okay, is that the answer here? Because I feel like not. Brides Today said, what does love mean to you? Quote, love is about expansion, not constriction, permission, not prohibition, becoming ourselves, not betraying ourselves. Oh, so love just means you do whatever you want without any sort of limits whatsoever. Are there no sort of limits at all? None? Because I feel like even you would think there are limits, say children, or an infinite number of sexual partners. But no, maybe not. I suppose not. Brides Today says, we have been conditioned to abide by the institution of marriage. What are your thoughts on marriage? And he says, I grew up in a sexist culture that conflated marriage with maturity, one that told us we had to be married to be complete. Marriage was less about what we wanted and more about what was expected of us. And this caused so much grief. Yeah, I'm sure. You are a deeply happy individual in an individualist culture, dressing up in women's clothing and bearing your extremely hairy belly to the world on the cover of Brides Today. Marriage is the problem, guys. Probably, when I look at the average person, if the choice, which way, Western man? I mean, seriously, it's like marriage on the one hand or this. Okay, your choice. And so then he calls for marriage equality, of course. And by marriage equality, he means that marriage is bad. We just heard that. You should recognize that for a huge number of people, when they say marriage equality, what they mean is the fundamental institution of marriage ought not be respected. It ought to be deconstructed. And marriage equality is just one tool in that deconstruction, which, by the way, is one of the reasons why we moved directly from gay marriage, which is a completely different argument, to men can be women. Because maybe the argument all along embedded itself in a broader argument, which is that marriage is bad. And once you hollow out the institution from man and woman and children, then all of a sudden, it doesn't exist anymore. It's been completely exploded. So, well done again, Brides Today. And it's an interesting choice, Brides Today. Okay, meanwhile, I would recommend that you not allow your children to watch Mighty Morphin Power Rangers reunion special. You grew up watching Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and it was, like a semi-cute show with a bunch of young people who would randomly turn into spandex-wearing crime fighters and such. Well, now, the reunion is going to feature the adult sex lives of the people, which makes perfect sense. According to Entertainment Weekly, Power Rangers star David Yost has been open about how the homophobia he faced while working on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers led him to walk away from the hit series in the 1990s. But now, as he returns for the 30th anniversary special once and always, he's seeing the LGBTQ community explicitly represented on the series. I think it's great we had an element like that, obviously, into where we are because it's important people see representation. Yost tells EW of a once and always scene in which Yellow Ranger Trini's daughter, Min, helps a man and his boyfriend fend off some of Rita Repulsa's putty patrollers. Yes, it's very important that children see a gay couple being defended from the putty patrollers of Rita Repulsa. Don't worry, it's not about the kids, guys. They don't want to indoctrinate the kids in their values. It's just about exposing kids to different lifestyles and all the rest. We'll get to that in just one moment. First, as you may have noticed, the economy is getting worse day by day. You need to change your spending habits. If you haven't changed the way you buy meat yet, you really should. Let me give you 3 reasons to subscribe to Good Ranchers. First, Good Ranchers is giving you, not me, free bacon. I don't need the free bacon. That's £1.50 of bacon in every box, a $240 value. Second, Good Ranchers offers a price lock guarantee, meaning when you subscribe, your price doesn't change for the length of your subscription. When the price of meat is expected to increase by another 4.5% in the coming year, this could be a huge savings for you and your family. Third, Good Ranchers meat is unlike any other. They're all-natural burgers, USDA prime steaks, and better than organic chicken will change your standard for great meat. It's a steak so good that you'll be talking about it years later. I know I am. They made me the one and only kosher steak, and it was unbelievable. Head on over to goodranchers.com. Use my code Ben for $20 off your order. You'll get free bacon, great meat, a secure price, $20 off your very first order. Use promo code Ben at goodranchers.com. That's goodranchers.com. American meat delivered. Again, the best meat in the country. And when you use promo code Ben at goodranchers.com, you get free bacon, great meat, secure price, $20 off your order. You got nothing to lose. Head on over to goodranchers.com. American meat delivered. You know all about the big cell phone wireless companies out there. They lock you into these horrendous contracts if you try to get out of those early. They'll tack on the outrageous charges. You don't need any of that in this economic climate. That's why I made the switch to Pure Talk, where there are no hidden fees, no contracts, no hassle. Pure Talk has a range of affordable cell phone plans to choose from. You can find the perfect option for your needs, like unlimited talk, text, plenty of data for just $30 a month. Pure Talk saves the average family over $900 per year. Think about what you could do with that money. And the fact of the matter is that I use Pure Talk for all my business calls. It works great. That Pure Talk phone line was coming in very handy today. It was very busy today. You don't get cheap, inconsistent service with Pure Talk. You get the same coverage you're used to at half the rate you're currently paying. I use Pure Talk. Again, that 5G service is really fast. It never drops my calls. Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team helped me make the switch in as little as 10 minutes. I was even able to keep my phone number. Not only will you save money, you also get the satisfaction of knowing you're supporting a great American company. CEO and chairman of Pure Talk is a U.S. military veteran. When you become a Pure Talk customer, you're given that option to support America's warrior partnership. Go to puretalk.com, enter promo code Shapiro, save 50% off your very first month of coverage. That's puretalk.com, promo code Shapiro. Pure Talk is simply smarter wireless. I'm a Boston Celtics fan, which means I spent like my entire life watching the NBA and hating Phil Jackson. He was the coach of the Lakers, of course, highly successful coach of the Lakers, who ended up tying, I believe, Red Auerbach, maybe surpassing him, I can't remember, as the most championship-laden coach of all time. Well, he actually said something I agree with. And I was never a big Phil Jackson fan because he had this whole kind of like new agey thing in which he would quote Zen and talk about how crystals were going to make his team work better. Meanwhile, Tex Winter was in the back actually doing the triangle offense and all of this. And my feeling was always that when you are blessed to coach a team with like Kobe and Shaq on it, or Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen on it, you have a pretty good shot at the chance. In any case, put aside my criticisms of Phil Jackson for now because he actually said something correct. Phil Jackson was on a podcast and he had the temerity to suggest that he doesn't watch the NBA anymore because it's too political. Here's what he had to say.
Do you feel like it just made little of the game, like it made it like a sideshow? What do you think it was that turned you off?
Well, it was. They even had slogans on the floor, on the baseline. It was catering. It was trying to cater to an audience or trying to bring a certain audience into play, and they didn't know it was turning other people off.
Mm-hmm.
People want to see sports as non-political.
Obviously, what he's saying is true. And this is coming from Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson is no wild-eyed Republican by any stretch of the imagination. Well, this is verboten. You cannot say this. So Jalen Rose, he then put out a statement about how terrible it was that Phil Jackson did not appreciate equality, rejecting Black Lives Matter during the NBA Finals in 2020, which is what you would see. You'd see people with like their jerseys, the names on the back of the jersey would be like equality, Black Lives Matter, etc. And here's Jalen Rose being very upset at Phil Jackson.
The same Phil Jackson that won championships with some of the greatest black athletes in the history of the game. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, made millions on their backs and off their sweat equity. You're sitting up watching a game with your grandkids and y'all think it's funny when justice passes the ball to equal opportunity? When somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
Well, I mean, I think it's funny because neither of those people is named that. There's no one named Justice, and there's no one named Equal Opportunity. So you're having bumper stickers passing the ball back and forth. But I love the fact that because Phil Jackson works in a league in which the players are largely black, now he's a racist for not wanting it to be overtly political when he watches basketball, which is an amazing thing. Keep going with this. See how it works out for you. Keep fringing out large segments of your audience. When you lose Phil Jackson, guys, you're not just losing small segments of your audience, you're losing large segments of your audience. Alrighty, guys, the rest of the show continues right now. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be getting into the vaunted Ben Shapiro Show mailbag. If you want to have your question answered, you have to be a member. If you're not a member, become a member. Use code Shapiro at checkout for 2 months free on all annual plans. Click the link in the description and join us.